Okay guys, I'm going to spend a little time and go over our review of what we started to talk about today, which is sequences. So when I talk about a sequence is an ordered set of numbers that use a pattern to be able to be made. Now typically it's 3 or 4 numbers, and between the numbers you're going to have commas, and at the end you have to have 3 ... dots which show that it just continues. So our job right now is to go through and kind of figure out how to be able to set them up and to be able to talk about some of the vocabulary. So if I have a sequence that looks like this, it starts with 14, and then the next number is 21, 28, and then ... I want to see how it's changing to go from step to step. And we talked about in class kind of the easiest ways to kind of almost show like these little jumps. So to get from 14 to 21, I would add 7. To get from 21 to 28, I would add 7. And this number down here, as long as it's always the same in a sequence, this one happens to all be 7s, that means it's going to have a common difference of 7. Now, another vocabulary that we talked about today is that when it's ordered, their order matters. So if it's a first number, it's considered to be the first term. This is a second number, so it's going to be the second term, and so on. So you need to be able to talk about that as well. Now, the only thing that can kind of be an issue with some of these is if my sequence looks like this. So this sequence looks a little different because the numbers are going down. So when I'm looking at how the numbers are changing, to get from 30 to 20, it goes down by 10, which means the common difference is the number you add to get from term to term. So I would have to add -10. To get from 20 to 10, I would have to add -10. That means my common difference on this one is going to be -10. Now, you do have to be sure that when you're looking at a sequence, it may have a pattern, but it may not have a common difference. So if I have something like this, I can see that there's a pattern. I can see every time it goes to the next number, basically it adds another digit of 1. But that doesn't give me a number that allows me to add to get to the next one. So to get from 1 to 11, I would have to add 10. But to get from 11 to 111, I'd have to add 100. So there's a pattern, but it's not the same. The pattern's nice because I could continue it. But the ones that we're going to look at, we're focusing on these numbers. We would need to have them be the same thing. Okay, one other piece from this that is going to come up is if I have a sequence, they may give me information about it, and I may have to make it myself. So they may say that the first term is -8, and it has a common difference of 6. And they may ask us to make the sequence. So if this is the first number, that's the first one in my list. And as I go through, I would have to use that common difference to get to the next number. So -8 plus 6 would be -2. To get the next number, I would add 6, so I would get to 4. If I added another 6, I would get to 10, and I could continue. Okay, so go over your sequence stuff. Also go over those operational words, and then that'll be our warm-up for tomorrow.